Where the Finns beat other Nordic countries is by focusing their effort more on the poorest quarter than anything else, partly because they didn't want to leave, because nobody was coming. So if they emigrate and leave, I mean, straight after the war and during the war, one of the first things they did for school children was introduce free school meals for everybody.
We're still having that debate in the UK.
We're still having that.
Oh my God.
And even though there were some ups and downs later, people campaigned not to lose that. So they're not called free school meals, of course. They're just called school lunch. Because if everybody gets it, it's just like having a chair. You know, having to pay for your school meal is as stupid as having to pay for the chair you sit on at school. You have to eat. You know, this doesn't make sense. In Helsinki, they also did meals during the holidays, which they've kept since the war. So again, no need for Marcus Rashford and so on. It's so not losing what you've gained and then arguing to improve all the time. You don't actually, it's ironic. The British want to be number one in the world, but over power and money and wealth. The countries that have actually become number 1, 2 and 3 in the world have done it by wanting to be good and decent to other people in their country. And
whereas we still have an empire mentality where we rule over those who are lesser.
It would make them soft.
Well, that's it.
But that's our mentality. Our mentality is, if you were nice to people, they'll just stop working.
But that's
if they're not hungry, they won't try hard enough.
That's utter rubbish. And we know that Lord of the Flies wasn't a handbook. We actually know from, that collaboration works way better because it's not or it's not pushed by fear.
But the British Empire did work by fear. Right? We got the largest empire. I'm not defending the British Empire.
You can't. We haven't got it anymore.
we haven't got it anymore. But you got to remember, those in power in Britain think it was a wonderful thing.
Yes.
And it was a thing made based on fear and subjugating people beneath you. And if that is your model of achievement,
yes,
the very opposite for the Nordic countries, and particularly Finland, which was only ever a colony. It wasn't, and a colony to several different countries.
Yes.
And so the idea of dominating other people and other places as success isn't there. It is very difficult for this island on the west of Europe to begin to get its way out of thinking like that. For the first thing that the British have to do is actually realise what they are and where they came from.